What's up, scorers? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Sean Suge Amos. And before we start, make sure you guys check out our merch page. You can go to scoresociety.com. We got high-quality hoodies, high-quality shorts. Just check it out. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Now, with that said, let's get right into it. Kyrie Irving is out for the season with an ACL tear. First and foremost, Kyrie get better. I know what it feels like to go through an ACL tear. I tore my ACL 4 years ago. I didn't get surgery because I didn't plan on playing basketball anymore, which, I still play here and there, but I know how that can mess with the mental. I know how that can mess with you. He's having a great year. He's playing more than he ever played in the last maybe 4 or 5 years. And the Dallas fans, man, I know they got to be sick. In the last 2 months, their world been turned upside down. They got rid of Luka, and now this. I don't know. I don't know about what's going to happen with Dallas. And ironically enough, the same day Kyrie tore his ACL, they raised the ticket prices to about 8%. So a couple things that tells me. Either the rent went up or something big about to happen in Dallas. I think they got something in the works because none of it makes sense. You're talking bringing your prices up 8%. Luka just got traded. Gafford is out. Lively is out. PJ Washington is out. I love Klay Thompson, but I don't think people want to pay the increase at this moment of his career. I know what can probably happen. I think KD is going to go to the Mavericks. If they get KD, I would think PJ Washington will leave. I think PJ Washington go. I think Lively go. They give him some picks. Maybe a couple dudes off the bench. But something big is going to happen in Dallas because there's no way they just increase their tickets by 8% and all your star players are injured. AD, Lively, Gafford, now Kyrie, which they didn't know, and you just traded Luka a couple months before without any reason. So we'll see. But shout out to Kyrie. Hope you get better, man. But Dallas, I feel for you guys. Speaking of KD, everyone's still talking about KD being traded. And if he does get traded, because I don't think that's always the solution. I don't think it's always the solution to trade guys. Because KD come with a lot. KD going to cost you a lot. Like I said earlier, Dallas, I think Dallas can work. But you lose PJ Washington, potentially. You lose a potential big man and probably Gafford or Lively. And you lose some picks. He won't cost a lot. He's about in his 16th year or so. Don't quote me on that. Could be totally wrong, but he around there, 16 year. So you get rid of a lot of potential rising stars. Some are saying OKC. I think that'd be a great welcoming home party, but you're going to lose a lot of those star players. You're going to lose, maybe not a lot of the star players, but you'll lose some players that you need. And I don't know. I don't think that's the solution. For instance, the team like a Thunder is number 1 in the West. The only way I say you go after a KD, if you're the Thunder, if something crazy happens the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season, or you get bumped out of the playoffs the first round and you realize, hey, man, we need some experience. We need someone else who can create their own shot. I mean, they got SGA. They got Kid Williams. He's pretty good. But as far as experience, they have no experience. They just balling out of emotion and balling out of friendship. I watched the Clippers and Suns game the other night, and I'm not gonna lie, man. It wasn't good to see. The first 3 quarters was just nasty. No defense at all. At one point, the Clippers had 44 points in the paint. And that was before the 4th quarter. Like, no defense at all. And KD got into it with his coach. From what it looks like. From what it looked like he got it into his coach. Coach, I guess he tried to get his attention by grabbing his arm. KD snatched away from it. When I saw that, I said, yeah, KD out of there. I ain't never see KD do that. KD usually handles himself in a professional way. But that day, I was like, he's out of there. Then you go to the press conference, and KD talked about that's their relationship. They're both competitive.
We competitive as two individuals who want to see things done the right way. And sometimes my way ain't the way that Bud want to do it, and vice versa.
And one of the things that I like about that is that I think young players can learn from that moment. There's so many times where young players are losing their opportunity on the basketball court simply because they're so emotional with their coach. They're so emotional with the time. Oh, I'm not getting this playing time. I'm not getting off what I want. Man, you got to understand, as a young player, your coach is competitive too. Don't get me wrong. I know it's some bad coach-player relationships. I'm not saying the coach is always right, but I am saying for KD to pick that out, to say that, it was eye-opening. I hope young players can learn from that. The solution is not always, I'm gonna go somewhere where coach likes me. Sometimes you gotta work with your coach, and your coach gotta work with you. That's how you build a relationship. It ain't always about you. Another thing where I want young players to learn from that game is Colin Gillespie. Colin Gillespie is a two-way player who came in and made a huge difference for the Suns. Scored about 10 points in the fourth quarter. Colin Gillespie is not the most athletic, nor is he the tallest player on the court. But from what I saw last night or the other night, he was one of the smartest players on the court. He played hard, and he was ready to play. He wasn't on the bench thinking that he wasn't going to get in. When he got in, he hit some timely shots, made some timely plays, got some hustle points. And all you players who sitting on the bench or who moping, you can learn a lot from Colin Gillespie. Shout out to Colin Gillespie for holding it down. Now let's get back to some more bad news. The Sixers. The Sixers is a heartbreaking team this year. We expected more. In addition to them losing, they also lost Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is out for the remainder of the season. I think he should be out of a Sixers jersey by the summer. And there's no offense to Joel Embiid. I've done different takes on Joel Embiid, give Joel Embiid nothing but praises. But sometimes you got to understand when things just not working out. Things ain't working in your favor. It's not looking good on your resume. You're not helping the team. Sometimes it's energy. Sometimes it's the energy. I've never seen a player come back from what Joel Embiid has endured since 2014. Nothing but countless injuries. I mean, he played just as many games as he sat out. There's just not a good feel. They have a kid, Maxey, over there, Tyrese Maxey, who's doing amazing, but he needs someone else who can ball with him. Paul George, the young players say he's a GOAT. I think he's an incredible player, but let's face it, he's getting older. Some of the things that we've seen this year is just unacceptable. I did a special on the podcast, P. And 6 months in, you say, okay, I want to focus on basketball when y'all been losing the whole season. It's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable as a fan. Who am I to tell those guys what to do? But as a fan, it's just unacceptable. And I'm from Philly. Well, I already know how those guys treating and talking to him while he on the bench and going through games with 2-17. So I think the Sixers definitely got to go in a new direction. I think Joel Embiid is great, but they need someone who's going to be more reliable. Maxey is a great player. You don't want to lose Maxey. Maxey can ball. I like him. So let me know what you guys think. Who you think the Sixers should get to replace Joel Embiid? Now back to some better news. Back to some better news. That is the Lakers. Lakers is looking great. When Luka got traded, me and my producer, we was in here, and we was like, yeah, they ain't going to really do much in the playoffs, but it's going to be entertaining basketball. Fast forward 3 to 4 weeks later, we're talking about them being a number 2 seed. The number 2 seed. They played against the Pelicans the other night. Luka had 30, 15, and 8. LeBron had 34, 6, and 8. You talk about a duo. You guys, we were all thinking, oh, they're not going to want to give up the rock. They are professionals. This is what you call professional basketball. Yeah, I can do this, I can do that, but I'm going to let you do it. Professionalism. And not only is LeBron playing amazing, he's playing MVP amazing. Now, I'm not saying he's the MVP this year, but I'm going to say he's in the runnings. He's ahead of Denver. SGA is balling phenomenally. He's doing great. But if he has a meltdown towards the end of the season, I don't know. Could LeBron James be the first 40-year-old to win MVP? The numbers are there. He has the same MVP numbers as he did with the Miami Heat. The only difference now is you got younger players and you got a couple guys who might average a little bit more than him. But he's balling. His team is in the second in the West. I think he should be up for discussion. I mean, let's think about it. He got the player of the month for February, averaging 29, 11, and 7. In fact, it's his 41st time getting that award. And that's even record-breaking. And, of course, against the Pelicans, he did the impossible. His 50,000th point. I want you guys to understand what you're seeing right here. I want you to understand this. You'll probably never see someone score 50,000 points ever again. This is how hard it is. He's averaged 25 points for over 20 seasons. Now, you may say, well, maybe Wemby can do it. Well, Wemby's already out 1 year. Never even averaged 25. Whoever's going to break this record, if it is possible, they ain't even born yet. They're not born yet. You're not going to see these guys. There's no one in the league right now who can do it. Luka's great, but do we see him playing 22 years like this? Nah, cut it out. We don't see that. Luka's great, but I don't see him averaging 25 points or more for the next 23 years. Joker, Giannis, let's be honest, they're great players. They're not going to do what they're doing for the next 20 some odd years. SGA will have to do what he's doing for 20 some odd years. Can he do it? I don't think so. But I hope they prove me wrong. But LeBron James, I don't know. This is a part of brainwash to think elite right here. What's motivating him at this point? You got to think about this. He's 40 years old. Think how hard it is for you to wake up every day at 36, 35 and go play ball. Go to work. Go do the same things over and over and over again. That's challenging. That's challenging on the mental. This guy is waking up playing basketball for the last 22 years. And he's not playing like, oh, I'm just collecting a check. I'm just sitting on the bench. I get in 6-man type of thing. No, he's a premier player on that team. Then let's talk about the other things around it. He's a billionaire. If I gave you $1 billion right now, you mean to tell me you say I'll work as hard as I can for the next 20-something years? Most people are going to get lazy. Most people are going to take days off. His son is in the league. Think how many people get their son a job as a CEO and they start to fall back. They say, I'm passing on to him. Now LeBron. And I understand why people don't like him. I understand it. Well, I don't understand it, but I understand where they're coming from because they can't emulate him. They can't mimic him. They can't play like him. You can't fake 6'9", 240 running and you can't fake having a beautiful family, putting your people on, putting your friends on to make them household names. You can't fake that. You can't fake being 40 years old and giving it 110% every single time. People say he's the best statistical player. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? You talking about stats you can't get. Everybody can't score over 50,000 points. Everybody can't be top 5 in assists. Rebounds, he's about top 10. Come on, man. Let's be real. So I understand why you guys hate LeBron. After scoring 50,000 points, you gotta stop hating. My last thing on this. You know what messed LeBron up throughout his career? The branding. Kobe Bryant had a brand, that Mamba mentality, that determination, that grit that everyone can relate to. Everyone can relate to his brand, where if you are the average person, I'm not saying Kobe was average, he was 6'6", but he wasn't freakishly long, freakishly athletic, but he became something special through work ethic. The average person see themselves through that. Hey, if I work a little harder, if I wake up early, if I do it 4 or 5 times a day, I can be just like Kobe. I got the Mamba mentality. LeBron James branded as king. So it's like you're already there. It's like a sense of arrogance to some people, where it's like, oh, he's just a king, but he didn't win anything. He's 4-6. Bro, you got to think about it. It's hard to go to the finals 10 times. People are calling the finals participation awards. If it was a participation award, shouldn't everyone have it? Because that's what a participation award is, when everyone has it. When we think about LeBron, we got to think the same thing you thought about Jordan. The grit, the determination, just being relentless. Because it showed. It shows in his career. The branding was all for LeBron. But nonetheless, he definitely is the king.